All right, good evening, everybody. We're going to be working on our second lesson of the year here. Let's go for all the even ones this time. That's a simple division problem. We're talking 60 or 5,841 divided by 62. We know 62 doesn't go into 5, so that space will be empty. It doesn't go into 58, so those two spaces will be empty. How many times does it go into 584, though? Let's go with, it's pretty close to 62, or 6,200, so let's try 9 first. 62 times 9, I guess 558. Okay, so we could do that. We'll put a 9 up here, and 558. And let's see, when we start subtracting, the 1's going to come down. We have to borrow 1 from here, which would make this 7. And that's going to make this 14 minus 8, which is 6. 7 minus 5, which is 2. And now we got 261. We have to figure out how many times does 62 go into 261. 106 goes into 24 4 times. So I'm going to go 62 times 4 and see if that'll work. 62 times 4 gives us 248, and that's perfect. 248. So that means it's going to be a 4 here. And our remainder is going to be 13. Remainder 13. All right, pretty easy division. Let you go ahead and work number 15. Remember, though, when dealing with the decimal has to follow its place up. Okay? All right, number 16. Divide and record the remainder. Oh, boy. Okay. So they want 2,593 divided by 21. Well, I do want you to practice these, so I'm going to go ahead and work these out over here as if I had to do them, because I do with my homework. Number 16 is going to be 2,593 divided by 21. And now we know what you're thinking, Mr. Mendes, how come we just don't use a calculator? But remember, the calculator is going to go ahead and give me fractions as an answer, or a decimal as an answer. And I'm not sure that the book really has said if it wants a decimal or not. I guess if I wanted to put a decimal there, I would just say that I know that, let's see, 2,593 divided by 21 is going to equal, well, I know it's going to be 123 and all this. So let's see here. We know it's already going to be 123. That's a good head start, right? So we know that this is going to be 21 because that's 21 times 1. That's going to leave us 493. And the reason I'm continuing this is because you've seen how long this answer was. I'm not going to put an answer in there that goes on forever. So I'm going to find the fraction of this. Let's see. And it says record the remainder, which means they want to know what's left over. So we have to be able to write that. And it's not going to be that decimal, because that's in hundreds, thousands. So now we got 2 times 21. That'd be 42. That leaves me 73. And then we know there's going to be 3 times 21, which is 63. That tells me my remainder will be 10. So the answer to this is 123 with a remainder of 10. All right. Let's go ahead and do number 18. Number 18 says we've got 2,483 and we're going to divide it by 9. Well, I know without using my calculator, that 9 goes into 24 2 times to make 18. If I did it 3 times, it'd be 27. That's too much. Well, the 3 is going to come down, and so is the 8. And now I have to borrow 1 from the 2 in order to go ahead and make this 14, and 14 minus 8 is 6. Now I have 683, and I have to say, how many times will 9 go into 68? Well, I know 7 times 9 is 63, so I could put a 7 here. That's pretty easy math, 53 left over. And I say, what times 9, how many times is 9 going to 53? I know 9 times 5 is 45. And that's going to give me a remainder of 8. So my answer is going to be 275 with a remainder of 8. All right, let's move on. This is a good time to go ahead and put our code word in. Now, for many of you, I might have remembered, whenever I give a code word in our homework, it means you can come and collect a treat from me if you have the code word written on your paper. And let's see, what code word am I going to put? Well, it's usually whatever word is sitting right in front of me that I look at, and the word, weird enough, that I'm looking at right now is Lawn Masters. Okay, Lawn Master. So if you have Lawn Master written on your paper, when you turn it in, let me know, and I will give you some type of treat for a reward. All right. And now let's go to number 20. Well, divide right remainder as a decimal. This time they want us to write our answer as a decimal. This is the perfect time to use a calculator, to be honest with you. Okay, because it gives the answer in decimals. So if I put 56 and then I divide it by 5, that's going to give me 11.2. I know what you're saying, Mr. Meadows, you cheated. Well, I'll tell you what, let's work it out over here. Don't want anyone to think that I don't know how to do it, right? Because this is pretty simple math when you think about it. We have 5 divided by 5, that's 1. Gives us a remainder of 6, and look at that, goes into it again 1 time, which leaves me 1 left over. Now remember, our decimal is here and here, so that means when we add a 0 here, we know 5 goes into 10 twice, so that point goes there, that decimal goes there, and now it's 2. And that's how we get 11.2. All right, so show you the easy way and the hard way. But remember, during tests, you might be required to show you can do it without a calculator. So make sure you know how to do it before you go getting complacent and lazy using a calculator. We got 44 divided by 10. If I take 44 and divide it by 10, well, I know the 10 goes into 40 4 times. That leaves me 4 left over. And again, our decimal's here and here. So when I add that 0, I know, just like before, goes in it 4 times. So it's 4.4 should be my answer. This is a pretty easy one because whenever we divide by the power of 10, we're really just moving the decimal over 1 spot. You see how that 44 became a 4.4 by moving the decimal that's here over to the left of 1 space. All right, let's go to number 24. Oh, got to erase that there. Number 24 says divide. All right, and this time we're talking money, a dollar sign there. So they're talking $54.18. And they're dividing it by 6. And in real life, this could be $54.18 divided by 6 people. How many times does 6 go into 54? Well, I'm pretty sure that 9 times 6 is 54, right? Do we remember that correctly? 9 times 6, 54. See that? So we can put a 9 over here, put our 54 underneath, and that's going to go ahead and leave us 0.18. Now, the reason it gave us a tricky one like this is because now they know 6 doesn't go into 1. So you have to remember to put that decimal there and a 0 for that spot where nothing goes. And now, how many times does 6 go into 18? Well, that's 3 times. And you can see why they did this. They want you to practice remembering to put that 0 in. So this is going to be $9.03. Why did I say $9.03 instead of 9.03? Because this is a dollar sign. Remember, we're taking that money and we're dividing it by 6. All right, let's try this one. Number 26, we got 63 divided by 7. Well, we know that, I'm sorry, this is 6.3 divided by 7. That's a big difference. 6.3, and I can see why they did this one. We know that 63 divided by 7 is 9. So we know that the decimal has to come up here, and you're going to have to put the 9 over here in back of it. And that's going to go ahead and leave you with 0. So it's 0.9. Okay? And anytime you want to double check your work to make sure that you've done it right, just remember to put that decimal in. Don't forget to do that. And you'll see that it is 0.9. All right, let's go to number 28 now. Divide. Annex 0 if needed to write remainders as decimal. Remember, annex means putting that 0 there where needed. So when we have 6.4 here, and we divide it by 0.8, remember first by starting to bring that decimal over here, so we have to bring it over here. Now that decimal is over here. And how many times does 8 go into 64? Let's see. I'm pretty sure it goes in nice and even. But let's see, that would be 9 times, let's see, 6 times 8. No, shit. Let's see here. I'm talking 6.64 divided by 8. And that gives us 8. You see that? 8 times 8. Nice and even. Okay? So we have to remember, since we brought the decimal over, okay, that 8 is going to go right here in this spot. Okay? Let's see here. 8. And you might be thinking, why is it at 0.8? Why didn't I bring it over back? Because the decimal's on this side, it's going to bring everything back over to the right one. All right, let's try this one over here. And we've got 5.056. And we're going to divide that all by 7.23. All right. If we do that, remember to bring our decimal over twice this way. 1, 2, which means we're bringing it over this way. 1, 2. And our decimal is going to be right here now. So 723 does not go into 520. So we're going to have to see how much it goes into 5,205. Well, I know 7 times 7 is 49. So that's less than 52. So let's try that first. Let's see. We're going to go with 723. And we're going to multiply it to, let's see, 7. And that's going to give us, look at that, 5,061. So we're going to put 5,061 here. And we're going to say that it was 7, lined up with this 5 here. Okay, and now we bring down the 6. So 5 minus 1 is 4. We have to borrow 1 because we can't take 6 away from 0. But 6 from 10 is 4. And 1 minus 0 is 1. So now we have 1,446. Again, we can say, well, 7 times 2 is 14. So maybe we can go ahead and say this would be multiplied by 2. Let's try it. Now we'll take 723 and multiply it to 2. That's going to give us 1,446. Hey, look how nice that worked out. So we're going to say this is multiplied to 2, and it gives us 1,446. Now, some of you may not want to use the calculator. You may want to go to multiply each time to get your answer, and that's fine if you want. So it's great practice. 7.2 will be our answer, though. For the purpose of this lesson, what we're trying to get you to remember is where to place that decimal. Okay? We're on number 32 now. Ants are one of the thorny devil lizard's favorite food. Okay? It can eat 45 ants per minute. Oh my. How long would it take this lizard to eat 1,080 ants? Wow. Well, we're trying to take time, which is 1,000, excuse me, the amount of ants, 1,080. And let's see. It said that we can eat 48 in 1 minute. So we're going to divide this by 48 to find out how many minutes it will take to eat 1,080. All right, well, let's try this. 48 won't go into 10, but 48 will go into 108. And 4 times 2 is 8, so that's going to be really close to 100. 80 would be close to 100. So this would be 6, carry the 1. That's be 8, 9, so we're talking 96 there, right? Okay, and I'm working this out without using the calculator this time, just to show you and remind you how to do it. Okay, so we got 120 left. All right, and now let's get rid of this. And now how many times does 48 go into 120? Well, 4 times 3 is 12, but with that 8 there, it's going to be too much. So I'm afraid we're going to have to go by 2 again. We forgot to put 2 over here already. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So we're going to have to put another 2 above there, which is going to leave this with 96 again. And that's going to give us, let's see, we're going to borrow 1 again. This will be 11. And now that would be 10 minus 6 is 4. 11 minus 9 is 2. We got 24. And now we have to see, okay, this is how many minutes, right? How long would it take a lizard to eat? All right. Express your answer in minutes. So we got about 22 minutes and 24 seconds. So really it's going to take about 23 minutes because we've got a little extra, right? It doesn't say to give us an estimate. So, I mean, if I was going to do this and I put the decimal there and the decimal here, I know that 4 would go into 24 probably 5 times. Let's see what that would turn out to be 5 times. No. So give me 5 times 8, which is 40. Hey, look at that. 24. So, 240, remainder is 0. So that would be a 5 over here, 22.5. So my answer would be 22 and 1/2 minutes. All right, let's go with number 34. Under 34, it says, which brand of fruit snacks costs less per pound? How much less? All right. Well, we're going to have to find out what each of these divided by the pounds, all right, because this is brand A would be for 15 pounds, and this is for 25 pounds. We don't know how much it is per 1 pound, and that's which brand of fruit snacks costs less per pound. So we're going to have to take the first one, 16.20, and I'm just going to use the calculator now because we're starting to get the hang of this, right? 16.20 divided by 15. And that's going to give us 0.413 repeating. And as far as the money goes, that's 41 cents. And then 3 repeating. 3 is not bigger than 5. So it's going to average to about 41 cents. Let's try this other one. This one says 22.25, and we're dividing it by 25. And that equals 0.89. So which brand of fruit snacks costs less? That would be brand A. And how much less? That would be 0.89 minus 0.41. Notice I'll line up my decimals. And that's going to give me 0.48. So 48 cents less. All right. I'm glad that my intuition went true. I had to pause the tape for a second because when I read this, it just didn't make sense that these would be this much different. So I decided to double check my calculator to make sure I was doing it right. And I made a tactical mistake. So we're going to redo this to make sure that you don't make the same mistake that I did. Let's see, I think it went wrong over here. It should have been 16.20. That's where it helps to make sure what your calculator has. Writes in or is in there, and we're dividing it by 15. There we go. And that should be $1.08, 1.08, much different than the answer we had a second ago. And I think what I did was maybe subtract. I'm not sure what happened there. And now we'll double check this one as well. 22.25 divided by 25. That one was right, 0.89. So now let's subtract these numbers. It's going to get quite a different number than what I had originally. And again, sometimes I look at things when I'm done and I say, hey, something doesn't feel right about that. And I'll stop the tape to go ahead and check it because I want to make sure that I did the right thing. And every once in a while, we can always overlook something. I got to borrow something here. I can't take 9 away from 8. Means I'm going to have to borrow from here, which is going to turn this into a 0.9. And now this is turned to 18. 18 minus 9 is 9. 9 minus 8 is 1. Decimal comes down. That's a difference of 19 cents. So it's actually brand B that's less. Sorry about that. Brand B. For those that try to fast forward through this thing, you might miss it. If you do, I'll know now. And by 19 cents less. All right, let's go down here and we're going to work number 36, last one I'm doing. Kendra has 5.5 pounds of popcorn and wants to package it equally in 50 bags. So how can she use place value reasoning to find the amount of popcorn to put in each bag? And for reasoning purposes, we're just going to go ahead and paste this answer here. The divisor 50 is about 10 times the amount as the dividend 5.5. Kendra can annex a 0 in the 100th place of the dividend and divide 5.5 by 50. Each bag receives 0.11 pounds. Okay, and what does all that mean? Well, if I was to actually work out the problem, I would see that I would have 5.5, and I'm dividing it into 50. And I see that that's going to go ahead and bring this over. So this is going to come over as well. I'm annexing a 0, I'm adding a 0 in here, right? So that's going to give me 55, right? And that's going to go in here about 11 times, right? Close to 11 times. So that should actually, I think we're talking the money divided by the bags. We have to do this the other way around, aren't we? Yes. We're going to have to take 5.5 and divide it by 50. That makes more sense. Okay. And when they annex the 0, that means, let's see, that point's going to come here. So now we're going to put a 0 over here, and that means 50 will come here. Yes, that makes way more sense. And then that's going to make 50, which would make another one come over here. All right, that does make a lot more sense. Okay, so when they say annex a 0, it means you might have to add a 0 here in order to get the place value in dollar signs. Because remember, dollar sign ends in the 100th place, right? So we have the tenths and the hundreds here. We want to make sure that we have a place value there to fill in there. So we'll have to annex a 0. All right, that's it for mine. You have all the rest of yours to do. Hope that me working through these help you figure out what to do with yours. And I will see you in class to check your work.